My 5th attempt. It's not live yet? I'm live? But how come I can't see you? How come I can't see you on the viewer? Try watching it so I can see if you're reflecting. Try commenting. Try commenting. Is that you? Yeah. Okay. So I'm really live. I'm live now. So let's wait for others. Hopefully there's like at least one more. One more. My laptop died on me. It's not charging anymore, so hi Shradhu. Let's just wait. Waiting game. The game. Waiting. Let me just share this stream on Twitter as well. Maths. I'm just gonna share this on Twitter and then we start. Okay. Hello, 3 viewers. Good evening or good morning, wherever you are. Mas, hello. Today is a very special stream because today we'll be doing maths. Alright. So, I'll be hiding the chat for now since I can't see this side if the chat is on. So, these are the questions, but I'll be doing other set of questions. Maybe this one will answer next time, but I'll be answering the same type of questions as these ones on the wall. It's just bothersome if I just do this. So I have other sets of questions on my other phone, and let's see if you guys can solve them. And there's a walkthrough on how to solve this on YouTube, but what I saw was the way he solves it is very algebraic. So I have other techniques that I can show you in order for you to learn other faster techniques and more child friendly techniques. So let me see the chat again. Hello, 5 viewers. So since they're today let's study let's study GRE quantitative reasoning by Tanchikon. That's me, Tanchikon. Okay, let's get going. Okay, so I'm gonna start with question number 1. I'll be rewriting the questions and then let's answer them together. All right. My question is, how do you look at the questions and still look at the camera? So I could I could just I'm always like looking at my laptop when I'm streaming. But yeah, since I don't have a good laptop and my laptop now died on me, it's not charging anymore, I'll be using another phone. This is so sad. So sad, but we can we can still persevere through. resilience resilience. Okay, so let me see the question. Where's the question? Okay, so this is the question. Let me just write it down. This is so hard writing. Is that cheating? No, it's not cheating. I'm just looking at the questions. How come that's cheating? That's cheating if I know the answers. So these are just the questions and I'm going to answer it at my own pace. So it will never be cheating. Why would I cheat? So let's go. I will be drawing the triangle now. Oh my gosh, it's so hard to see on the phone. So so hard. Mm. uh T2 Jeriel, type in the questions here. I'll try answering along. This is actually on the YouTube of what's his name? Greg Matt. So he actually answers these questions algebraically, and I'll try to answer them my own way. So the first question is this one. Ta-da! So we're asked to compare A and B, and this is the figure that comes along with the question. Let me see if there's okay. So there's two lines parallel to each other, line K, and line M. So figure out if these values are A is greater than B is greater than A, they are equal or it can't be determined. So, how do I? Okay. Yeah, okay. So, I'll just hide in the chat for now and try to answer them at my own, on my own. So, we're asked to know the value of x plus y, not exactly the value, but try to compare the two of them. X plus y and w plus z. So these interior angles here are w and z, and we have here the middle interior angle that is missing, and then we have a parallel line k and m, and we have outside angles x and y. So what are the geometric principles here? So when you have a straight line, when you have a straight line, let me just, yeah. So when you have a straight line, it will be automatically 180 degrees. The sum of all angles in a straight line is 180 degrees. So if you have this angle, this angle, this angle, the sum of those angles will always be 180 degrees. Can it be seen? There we go. Ta-da! And then, if you have a triangle, do you know the sum of all angles in a triangle? Let me see. Let me see that. Wait, is this a recreation of Goodwill? I haven't watched that movie yet, so I'm sorry, I don't know. Very good, Tito Jerian. It's 180 degrees. So, let me go ahead and draw it for you. So, the sum of all angles in a triangle is 180 degrees. So now we have our principles here. So sum of all angles on a line, on a straight line, is 180 degrees, and sum of all angles in a triangle is also 180 degrees. So let's use those principles to solve this problem. Let me just erase. Okay. So here we have z, the angle z, plus angle w, 180 minus z plus w is equal to 0. That's correct, right? Because the sum of all angles is 180, then z plus w, oh wait, let me just, no, that's not correct. 180 minus z plus w is equal to the angle that is missing, right? And and the angle that is missing is equal to this thing right here, the interior angle. So what I did was z, oh wait, interior angle missing, so x plus y plus the interior angle equal to 0. Let me just try to see this equation again. C 180 180 minus C plus W is equal to 180 minus, so this is the angle that I'm trying to calculate. 180 minus x minus y. Okay, there we go. It's hard to teach. Like, I'm trying to focus on the problem and then trying to talk to you. So it's very confusing. So let me just show you what I did here. So what I did here was, I know that the sum of interior angles of a triangle is 180. So 180 minus z, the angle z, and the angle w, the sum of these angles will be equal to this part, right? And I just labeled it as I just labeled it like that because I don't want any more letters. So this is equal to 180 minus the angle x minus y as well. And if you simplify this equation, this will become 180 minus z plus w is equal to 180 minus, you could, by distributive property, you could try x angle plus y angle. So this is what I have now. 180 minus the angle z plus the angle w is equal to 180 minus the angle x plus the angle y. So the sum of these. So by cancellation, we can see that the both sides has both 180 minus 180 minus, and by this equation, so I'm just cancelling 180 minus and 180 minus. So by this essence, we have angle z plus w is equal to angle x plus angle y, which makes the equation equal to each other. So by the principle of geometry, these angles are actually, the sum of these angles are actually equal. So let me see the stream. Oh, I kind of see why you mentioned the algebraic approach. I find that one of the best ways to prove the equation. Yes, this is, for me, this is algebraic approach because I think there's no other way to solve this one when it comes to geometry, but there's it. Okay, so yes, that's what I did. T2 Jerial 180 minus C plus W is equal to 180 minus X plus Y. Yeah, it's kind of 8th grade to 9th grade. Yes, this is the easier question because this is just question number 1. Okay, let me just go ahead and try to access the next question. Sorry, this is I'm really moving at a slow pace for everyone to understand. Do you want me to go faster? So, let's see here. In a decimal number, a bar over one or more consecutive digits means that the pattern of digits under the bar repeats without end. For example, just erase this quick. So, we're at 387, 0.387. Tapos, we're asked to compare 0.717 bar versus 0.71 bar. Okay, so we're asked to compare these two. As an example, you know what a bar over a decimal number means? It means repeating consecutive digits. So 0.387 bar means 0.387, so on and so forth. So it will go ahead to infinity, 387, 387, 387. So now, if we're asked to compare 0.717 bar versus 0.71, let me just transpose this so that it will be much clear. So 0.717, 717, 717, and so on and so on. And then 0.71 bar would be 0.717171. So if we compare the digits, we would compare from the left side first, which number is greater. So since these are the same, let's proceed to the next number. 7, 1, 7, and then this number is actually 7, and this number is 1. So of course, by comparison, we know that 7 is greater than 1. Hence, the value of A is greater than B. Alright. So let's see the chat again. I'm sorry, I'm not very responsive. It's very hard to multitask and I don't have my laptop right now. So yeah, we're doing this. Yep, repeating digits. Like in math and in education, I'd rather not say that, oh, I know that already. I'd rather relearn stuff than just be confident, because if you're overconfident, it's really not it's really not good. Because for example, you admit to it that you want to relearn stuff, you might learn things that you haven't learned before, if you know what I'm saying. So next question number 3. Let me just go ahead and okay, 4% of S, it's very small. 4% of S is equal to 3% of T, where T is greater than 0, S is greater than 0. Which is greater, S or T? Okay. So we're asked to... Oh, you have another trick. Yeah. Hopefully you can share us your trick. If I can understand, I'll share with others. So here, we have 4% of S is equal to 3% of T, where T is greater than 0 and S is also greater than 0. We can actually just see which one is greater, because by just looking at this equation. Other technique would be plugging in a value for S or T. For example, what's a like 100%? 4% of 100 is 4% of, for example, S is 100. 4% of 100 is 4, which is 3% of blah blah. 3%. So if 4 is 3% of something, is S greater than T or is S less than T? So if you get what I'm saying. So since you can also draw this one. So for example, if it takes a large amount of S, so for example, this is 4% and this is 3% of T, and these are equal, so this is S and this is T. So if 4%, I'm just drawing random figures here. So if 4% of S is equal to 3% of T, we know already that T is greater than S. So you have 3 methods for me. So first method is just by looking at the equation. Second method is to try plug in values like I did, like 4 and then 3%. 4 is 3% of what number? And then the last technique is to draw. So if you're a visual learner, you could draw this and try to compare the two. So that's it for question number 3. So it's fairly easy, but what the GRE quantitative section tries to do is to make use of your time. So like it tries to waste your time. That's what I'm saying. So if you try to focus on one number, your time would be very very much wasted. So try to answer the stuff that you know first, and then try to tackle the harder ones later if you have more time. So next question is question number 4. Let me just go ahead and find question number 4. Oh, okay. This is a conceptual question, question number 4. Let me just go ahead and draw it. I'm I'm not very good at drawing, as you can tell. So let me just say it's actually the other way around. So let me just do this. So you have a big circle, and you have two smaller circles inside, P, Q, R. So P, Q, and then R. Let me just read the question. 3 circles with their centers on line segment PQ are tangent at points P, R, and Q, where R lies on the line segment PQ. So it says here R lies on the line segment PQ. So we're asked to compare quantity A, the circumference of the largest circle, and quantity B, the sum of the circumferences of the two smaller circles. Okay, so let's see here. So if for example, this circle is bigger than this one, we could do plug in other values. We could do test values. So we're asked to compare the circumference of the largest circle versus the sum of the circumference of the smaller circle. So circumference of large circle versus the sum of the circumference C1 plus C2 of the smaller circle. So, yep, we're asked to compare these two. So, what I'm going to do, circumference, what I'm going to do is to try plug in values. So, for example, what's an easy value? 2, 1? I don't 2, 1. Oh, this is odd. So let me try some that is. Let me try 4, 2. Oh, yeah. This is much easier. So the formula for the circumference of a square is 2 pi r, right? Or pi d. So if this is 4 and this is 2, then we'd know that the sum of these two is 6. And then the diameter would be 6. That would be pi d. You could also use pi d for the circumference of the square. So 6 pi. And then for this one, if the diameter of this is 4, I'm using diameters now. So pi d, the same. Diameter, radius is this one. Diameter is the entirety. If you can see. So radius will be the half, and then diameter will be the entirety. It's very much easier to use the diameter. So this is 4 pi plus 2 pi, which is also 6 pi. So comparing the sum of the circumference of the two smaller square and the circumference of the largest circle, we know that it is 6 pi and also 6 pi. So now we know that this is equal. These values are equal. Equal. There we go. They are equal. Alright. I've actually have experience tutoring, and I really like to tutor kids that are more interested rather than kids that are smart, if you know what I'm saying, because curious kids like to learn more, and they admit that they don't They don't know this concept, and they'd like to know more. But smart kids would be like, ah, I know that already, or something like that. So people, it's the same as people who think they're smart. So be very, very careful of assuming that you're smart even though you're not, or something like that. So yeah, it's always good to learn something new, and don't be overconfident. Next. Number 5, because some of these questions are tricky. Like math always creeps behind math math always creeps behind you, and it has like tactics that can make you confused. For example, a negative sign, you could forget about a negative sign. Yep, that's how math is. So be very careful. But if you're confident enough and if you're smart enough, then you do you. But in my case, my philosophy is curious is better than confident. So here, RT is less than 0 is less than negative R. So we're asked to compare T and 0. So this is the equation. RT is less than 0 is less than negative R. I have really bad handwriting. So we're asked to compare T and 0. So what I'm going to do is to assign values for R and T, so that it'll be less than 0. So I'm assuming that, okay, let me try to substitute value for R first, because this is just a single variable and it will be much easier to manipulate. So let me just say that R is 1, positive 1. So that'll mean that, oh no, it's not positive 1 because it's greater than 0, so it's negative 1. So I would assign negative 1 to R, so that it will be 1 here, because negative 1 is equal to positive 1, right? So now we have a value for R. R is equal to negative 1. Now we can substitute a value for T, so that it will be less than 0. Since R is already negative, we know that T should always be positive for it to be less than 0, for the product to be negative as well. So I'm going to plug in a positive value for T, so that it'll be always less than 0, and negative R is always negative 1, or negative R is always greater than 0. Therefore, T is greater than 0. Ah! Ta-da! Okay, so far so good. I'm not really confident about my pace, but there's nothing we can do about it. There's nothing we can do about my pace. I'm slow paced. Next question. Let's see. Okay. Absolute values. So, absolute value of x plus y versus the absolute value of x minus y. Okay. So, let me just go ahead and plug some equations here. Ah. This is fishy. This equation is fishy just by looking at it. Let me just go ahead and... Oh. Sorry, I just read the comments. Okay, let me just go. Oh, this is trick from T to Jeriel. So the 0.717 you can round up to 0.718. The other one is 0.7171, which ends up only being 0.717, which when you try to terminate at the same time, at the same number of digit as the first digit. So that's a good technique actually. You're rounding up. So it's actually just a comparison of the non terminating decimals. So yeah, you could try that method and also the writing down method. But I just wrote it down for everyone to see. But if it's just me answering the question, I would know that 717 is bar is greater than 0.71 bar. Yep, that's actually correct, Tito Jeriel. I get a piece of paper. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead and get your pen and paper and try to solve it with me. I'll do my best to show you the problem, but this is the next problem while I'm reading the comments. You go ahead and um, try to compare these two values, the absolute value of x plus y versus the absolute value of x minus y. Is it always greater than, always equal, or always less than, or undeterminate? Hey Sweetie by Abdullah Halahad. Hello. I'm I'm doing great. Thank you very much for asking. We're doing maths now. I'm not sure at the level of maths my viewers can understand. So I'm trying to start with GRE maths that are easier. But if you want me to answer more basic questions, or if you want me to answer more complicated questions, just chat down. So I'll try to do my best to cater to your requests. Uh, what's that circle again? You can see the circle on when you search for this question on the internet as well as in YouTube. It's there. But but I think I think I explained it pretty nicely. Just try to substitute. Wanya zone. BRB, kuha lang ako kumot. Yes, just stay warm. Stay warm, Wanya zone. So, now, we get back to our question here. So, at this, for this question, I will try to substitute numbers. Let me try, not working. Let me try 1, and then negative 1, and then let me try negative 2, and then 3. Those are just random numbers. Let's see if which one is correct. I can't mathematicians ako. Yeah, this is I don't know, 8th grade or 9th grade maths. So other viewers find it easy. That's why I'm quite shy. These are easy questions. But what I'm telling everyone is it's not bad to relearn something once you know it. Don't be overconfident, you guys, because some other people can't even answer 5th grade maths. So be very thankful that you know this kind of this kind of maths. And if you don't worry, I will teach you. I will gladly teach you. So say here. So I will try these values. So for x plus y, I substitute 1 and negative 1. So for here, I got 1 minus 1 is 0, and the absolute value is 0. Okay, let me just x, y, and then the value. Messy handwriting sa ako. So, for negative 2 plus 3, that will be 1. Okay, so I'm going to compare this with the answer on the right side. So let's see what's the answer on the right side is. So 1 minus negative 1, that will be 1 plus 1, that will be 2. On the first equation, we have 0 is greater than 2. And on the second equation, we have 2 minus 3. 2 minus 3 is negative 1. But on the second equation, we have 1 versus negative 1. Of course, 1 is greater. So, okay, let's try to disprove this by plugging in other numbers. So, could you give me numbers that's like less than 2? You could give me both negative numbers. So, any of you could give me negative numbers. That's very easy. So, Please give me negative numbers so I can plug it to this equation. Negative 2 and let's try negative 2 by Helmi. And let's try, can we try both negative 2? Okay, let's try both negative 2. So, for the first equation, x plus y. So, negative 2 plus negative 2 is negative 4. And the absolute value, oh wait, the absolute value, it's the absolute value. They'll be equal. So, the absolute value for this is 4. And if we plug in negative 2 here and negative 2, negative 2 plus negative 2 is 0. The absolute value of 0 is 0. And we have here, so actually here, on the second equation that I did, when I plugged in negative 2, this should be negative 2. Why am I not consistent? So let's try negative 2 and 3 again. Sako, not consistent. So this is what I'm telling you. Your pen could malfunction and your math will be bye-bye. Boom, boom. Okay. So, negative 2 minus 3 is negative 5. And the absolute value of negative 5 is 5. So, we know that that one is less than 5. Tada! Okay, my pen. It's not my fault, guys. I'm sorry. It's my pen's fault. It didn't. Yeah. Actually, it's not 2. It's actually negative 2. So, my pen malfunctioned at that part. And I actually noticed the negative 1 should be absolute value 1. But at the same time, when I recheck the whole equation, it's wrong. The given values are wrong. The given values that I gave myself is wrong. So, it's very important to check and recheck your answers. I'm stressing on the importance of rechecking your answers. Okay, thank you very much for clarification. And thank you, Helmi, for giving me negative 2. So, let's see here. There we go. Oh, yes. So, yeah. I make mistakes. I make mistakes too. So, it's good that we recheck this. So, in here, we have greater than sign. But in here, we have less than sign. Here, we have greater than sign. It's very inconsistent. So, the answer is D. We cannot determine the value if it's always greater than or always less than or always equal. So, it's indeterminate. Indeterminate. Okay. Thank you very much for participating on this question. So, let's try other other questions. Oh no, it's loading. Love PSK. I'm bleeding. No, stop bleeding. I will tape you. I give you tape. I give you Band-Aid. Where's my Band-Aid? Where's my first aid kit? Someone's bleeding. Gomenasai. So, here. Let's try answering other questions. But, my stomach's rumbling. Yeah, it's an indeterminate comparison. It's actually nice when we have those kind of questions. It makes you really think. And not just, like, stay in one test values. If you know what I'm saying. So, don't just stop in one test value. You stop when you're satisfied. Okay, next question. In the xy plane, the points A0 and 0B. Okay, let me just write this question down so you can answer with me. In the xy plane, so of course you know an xy plane, right? It's a normal Cartesian plane. So there are points 0 A0 and B0, 0B rather. 0B are on the line whose equation is y is equal to 1/2 x plus 10. Oh, which is greater, quantity A versus quantity B. So, you have an equation of a line can you see? You have an equation of a line here. Y is equal to 1 half x plus 10, right? Okay. Let me just check if there's negative sign. Okay, there's no negative sign, so this is your equation. And there are points A, 0, and 0 comma B. So that's the x and y intercept, if I'm not mistaken. So you have an x and y intercept that this line will pass through. Of course, since this is the form y is equal to mx plus b, this is a straight line. So it will be a straight line that would pass through x and y with these respective points. So we're asked to compare A and B. So in here, we're just going to plug in. We're just going to plug in this equation to know A and B. So I'm getting closer and closer. Okay. So this is, I just draw a line here to indicate that the equation is a line. So to know, let me just go ahead and I'm hiding the chat so that I can see what I'm writing. So to know which ones are the x and y intercept, so let's go ahead and plug in 0 to y to know A. Can you follow? So I'm going to plug in 0 to y to know A, because A is the x-intercept and B is actually the y-intercept. So let's go ahead and plug in 0 to y. If y is equal to 0, then 1 half x, 0 is equal to 1 half x plus 10. And you will get negative 10 is equal to 1 half x. And then you will get negative 20 is equal to x. You follow? So this is the x-intercept, also known as A. So I'm just going to plug in here negative 20. My marker is not working. I'm getting visual. Okay. Next, let's go ahead and find the y-intercept. Okay. So for the y-intercept, we have to make x 0, because in here it's 0, right? So we have to make x 0. So if x is equal to 0, then we know that y is equal to 1 half times 0 plus 10 is equal to 10. And we know that the value for the y-intercept is 10. So what these numbers actually mean are actually the x-intercept and the y-intercept, meaning, let me just go ahead and try to graph the value for you guys. So it will hit negative 20. This is the x-intercept value. So it will hit negative 20 and then positive 10. So the line would look like this. So it's actually correct because we have a positive slope, meaning our line would be going like this. So therefore, we have B is greater than A. That's the answer. Yes, maths. So how do I say this? The foundation for this type of questions, that you have to know beforehand the geometric principles and some algebraic principles, especially when it comes to the Cartesian plane. You know what to do with x and with y, as well as formulas for geometric figures such as circles and quadrilaterals and sometimes pyramids and cylinders. Let me see here. B is equal to 10 based on the equation. Yes. Very good. Very good, Tito Jaran. Oh, I'm gonna give you a star. Star. Chikon, want me to grab some markers from our sites? We have like tons. Wanya Zone, please do and send me markers. I'm getting beast mode from this marker. Okay. Let me just go ahead and fetch our next question. Oh, the next question is actually frequency distribution. Let me just go ahead and okay. Do you know the standard deviation? Are you familiar with statistic formula? So, we have for statistics we have like three main concepts. So, okay, for statistics, stat. Well, so for stat, we have three main lessons, main lessons, main concepts. So we have the mean, median, and the mode. Sharing. So who could tell me what the mean is, what the median is, and what the mode is? Oh, love PSK, give her a bigger whiteboard as well. Yes, I'm, I'm poor. We now have whiteboard. I don't even have a table. I'm just using my tripod. Just lumalabas yung pagka. Mean is mean, girls. No, love PSK. Minus points. Minus points for you. Tito Jeriel. Oh no. No, don't worry. So, mean is actually the average. Median is the middle value. And the mode is the most repeating term. That's what I know from from my memory. So these three are your foundation for statistics. We have the mean, which is the average, median, the middle term. If you write all the values on a line, then ascending order, then the middle value is the median, and the mode is the most repeating term. For example, you have 1 1 1 2 3, then the mode will be 1. Okay, so since I have taught you the three main concepts, we will now go ahead and figure out the standard deviation. There's actually a formula for this one. So sigma is actually the standard deviation. And basically what it means is that the how do I say this? How far the other values are from the mean of the given numbers. So for this equation, or for this question, I would just go ahead and plot. Just go ahead and plot the chart for you to see. This is actually a very complicated chart, but it's just a very easy question once you know the concepts of statistics. So let me just go ahead and try to plot. I'm gonna try plotting these. Let me just give me 1 sec. So 4, 5, 6. And then for the other value, standard deviation. Ooh. So complicated to graph. Okay. So hard. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Frequency versus the values. Sorry, I'm just writing the values. If you're waiting for me, please don't wait for me. 5. Please don't wait for me. Just chill there, chill. 5, 4, 3, 3, 2. Okay. It's a disaster. Like me. Okay, so we have here uh, a table. Believe me, this is a table. This is a graph. Wow, now I have a table. Okay, so we have here a table. So in the y-axis we have the frequency, and the x-axis we have the values. I'm laughing at my own handwriting. So y-axis also the frequency, and the x-axis the values. So what does this graph represent? So 10 would appear thrice. That's the frequency of 10. 20 would appear thrice as well. 30 would appear 6 times. 40 thrice. 50 thrice. Why is that important? Because we have to know the total of all the stuff that I told you. So 10 times 3 plus 20 times 3 plus 30 times 6, and so on and so forth, and divide it by the number of all the times they appeared. So 3 plus 3 is equal to 6, plus 6 is 12, plus 6 plus 6 plus 3 is equal to 6. So plus 18. So the total of these values over 18 is equal actually to the mean. And we're going to compare the mean with the other values. So actually here the mean is 30, because based on this graph, the mean is the mean is 30. I'm just too lazy to calculate, but believe me, the mean is 30. And in this case as well, the mean is actually 30. But as we can see on both these graphs, they have different characteristics, right? So in here, we have the mean over here, but on the other side, the mean is over here. So we're asked about the standard deviation, right? So the standard deviation is the value of the distance, how far the other values are from the mean. So since these are pretty consistent, we know that the value of the standard deviation of A is less than the value of the standard deviation of B, because B has a large standard deviation. As you can see on the graph, it has larger differences than the mean. So therefore, just by looking at the graph, we'd know that the standard deviation of B is larger than A. So that's that for you. Quick stat. But if you want to calculate it, go ahead. The equation will be 10 times 3 plus 20 times 3 plus 30 times 6 plus 40 times 3 plus 50 times 3 over 18, and versus this one, and then compare them both. So that's the very, very big brain equation behind standard deviation. Obelix 14. Hello, Sensei. Hello, Obelix. My other student. Welcome, students. Welcome to to Tanchikon Tanchikon Academy. This joke is courtesy of Yusha from Tanchikon page. I can't reply to you because my laptop is so dead. I can't reply to messages. I'm so sorry. I'm just suffering here. Suffering. I don't have good markers. I don't have a table. I don't have laptop. This sensei is poor. Poor sensei. Okay. So I think the next questions will be much more interesting, because it's like, let me just go ahead and erase it. It's like, how do I say this? Word problems? Yeah. Word problems. Word problems. Word problems. Okay. So let's read the next question. One person. Oh, word problem. One person is to be selected random from a group of 25 people. Okay. So there are 25 people, and one person will be selected from 25 people. says here that the probability that the selected person will be male is 0.44. So the probability that this person is male is 0.44 or 44%. So meaning 44% of this group is male. Then the probability that the selected person will be a male who was born before 1960 is 0.28. So male born before, I'm just going to be less than sign, before 1960, what's the probability? 0.28. So if we convert that to percentage, like 28%, if you pick one person from a group of 25 people, the probability that it's a male born before 1960s is 0.28, right? Okay, what's the question? Toot, toot, toot. I'm trying to see the question. Give me a second. What's the question? Okay. The question is, the number of males in the group who were born in 1960 or later. Quantity A is male in the group who were born 1960 or later. So, greater than 1960. So, 1961 onwards, 1960 later. Or quantity B, which is 4. Okay. See here. Ahem. So, we just have to subtract this value. So, you have many ways to go around this question actually. I don't know if you can see it from there, but okay, let me just repeat the question again so that you can understand. One person is to be selected at random from a group of 25 people. The probability that the selected person will be a male is 0.44, and the probability that the selected person will be a male who was born before 1960 is 0.28. Now, find the number of males in the group who were born in 1960 or later versus the amount of 4. So we're still trying to calculate this value and then compare it to 4, and then let's find out which value is greater than the other. Okay. How do you solve it? I think you can have like 3 ways to solve this question, but let me see here. Let me see here how I'm going to solve it. So what's 0.44% of 25? So 0.44 of 25. You can calculate this with a calculator. I'm just going to calculate it manually because I want to. Okay. 5 times 4, 20. 4 times 2, 100. 4 times 5, 420. Okay. So there are 11 males on this group. And then 0.28 of 25 is... So you can calculate this with a calculator. Oh, I'm sorry, you missed the question. So this is the question. I will just read it for you again. T2 Jeriel. One person is to be selected at random from a group of 25 people. The probability that the selected person will be a male is 0.44, and the probability that the selected person will be a male who was born before 1960 is 0.28. So we're asked to compare the number of males in the group who were born in 1960 or later versus the quantity 4. So what I did was to calculate the number of males using the equation 25 times 0.44. I got 11. Now I'm going to calculate the male who were born before 1960 using the same equation. 25 times 0.28, which is my my handwriting is so messy. 25 times 0 16, 20, 0, 1, 2 times 2, 5. What am I doing? 0, 0,